To other matters, some residents of Osogbo have staged a protest against the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company in Osogbo over centralized metering system and what they described as unfair estimated billing practices. Senior reporter Rafi Hamid has more.
It's the first working day of the year 2025. The protesters arrived at the IBEDC business hub in Osogbo, blocking the gate with their vehicles. They met the staff in the middle of their early morning prayers to usher in the new year. Denied entry, the protesters forced their way into the compound, sparking heated altercation that lasted nearly an hour. Moments later, police officers arrived at the scene to restore order. The protesters are angry about what they say are unfair estimated bills issued by the company every month.
Almost every month, we don't pay less than 1.5, 1.8 every month. And by the time we do the distribution in each of the houses, it amounts to about 130,000, 140,000 every month. We want them to come and meter us. Let them go and decentralize. Individual meter is what we need. We don't want that central meter of a thing that will not, you won't be able to quantify the estimate exactly what you have consumed in a month.
IBEDC give us individual meters and stop estimated bills. Let me pay. It will be unfair for me to be using meter using electricity every day of the month, and my brother that is using only once or twice, paying the same amount that I'm paying.
According to them, several meetings held with the company to resolve the matter in the year 2024 yielded no results. They also refuted claims that residents in the estate engaged in energy theft, insisting that their demands are legitimate and long overdue.
The estate bought the transformer. They can't carry our transformer. The estate bought the transformer. The estate bought the poles. The estate stringed the poles. They only put their meter there to extort money from us and to punish us with, using what we use our money to buy.
Efforts to speak with the branding and communication officer of the IBEDC in the region were not successful. After several plea and persuasion by one of the team leads at the business hall here, the protesters left but vowed to return to the business hall if their grievances are not addressed by the end of the month. Rafi Hamid, TVC News, Osogbo.
For more clarity on this matter, I'll be speaking with our senior reporter, Rafi Hamid, who monitored the event. We'll also be speaking with the branding and communication officer of IBEDC Osun region. But let's start with you, Rafi. Help us understand the grievances of the protesters. Rafi, kindly unmute your device. Yes, please unmute your device and respond to the question about the grievances of the protesters. All right, we will get back to Rafi in a moment. But let's come to Kikela Moweye, who is Branding and Communications Officer of IBEDC Osun region. What is your response to allegations of unfair billing practices and unfulfilled promises being leveled against IBEDC by this community?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Actually, on Spring Valley Estate, we call them point load customers. They are under the MD segment of our customers. We have the non-MD, which are the non-maximum demand customers, and we have the MD, which are the maximum demand customers. They happen to fall under that category. And when the developer began with their project and they approached IBEDC that they wanted to connect to our grid, they requested to be a point load customer, which means they will own a transformer to themselves, to the estate alone, and will be served as such. And they will have a meter that will be at the transformer side to actually capture their consumption, which makes them a bulk metered customer. That means they are being bulk metered at that point. And it's based on the request, which we gave our own approval as a disco to what they requested. And presently, what we noticed is that the residents of the estates do not want such arrangements anymore. And we've advised, because in the past, they visited our office and engaged them, advising them that they should meet with their developer. Since they are residents of that estate, they should meet their developer so that they can do the proper thing, which is to do the needful, whereby there was a communication through proper documentation on that, which they should go through the same route, which they didn't want to do. And that was, I think, that's the point of contention this morning. They actually made them to approach the office. It's not as if they are being estimated. There is a meter at the transformer side, which will actually capture their consumption on monthly basis.
I hear you, Mr. Owoye. Yeah, but how are we sure that this information was duly communicated to them? Because what they have told our reporters is that they held several meetings with IBEDC leadership over the past year, and nothing was done about it until this protest that they have carried out today.
I'll say that's not true, because they've held a series of meetings, and the story is still the same. We've held a series of meetings with them, and they can confirm it. But what they do not want is to go through the developer anymore. They are claiming that the state government has taken over the estates, which they didn't communicate to us officially, which they are supposed to do officially. Because when the developer approached us, they did that through documentation, and that is the right process to take, which we advised that you should take that route so that we can do the needful.
Okay, so as it stands, if indeed the developer is no longer in charge of that property, what should they now do? Because then it means that they have to be interfacing with IBEDC directly. Isn't that the situation?
No, because who we actually know is the developer. And that's the person who actually approaches.
What if the developer is no longer in charge of, managing that property? That is the concern now. Because you mentioned that they said the government has taken over the estate.
Government has taken over. They are expected to communicate to us. And I think at the point of taking over, there should be an agreement on their side. And that should be that they should have a contact with such developer, probably through the government or whoever engaged in that contract, to actually know what they have to do as a resident.
All right, then. Thank you for providing clarity in this matter. Kekalamo Weye, Branding and Communication Officer, IBEDC Osun Region. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.